everyone. So today I am going to talk about how we find internet on the road. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Obviously, it's kind of hard to do a lot of things nowadays without the internet around. We need it for work purposes, doing our remote jobs, uploading our videos, and also for entertainment value. We download a lot of TV and then watch it offline since we camp in places that we usually don't have signals for. So there's a couple different reasons for us having internet available when we are in a town. One of the most obvious options is just using our cellular data plan. Before we hit the road, we did upgrade our Verizon package and got unlimited data for both Jeremy's cell phone, my cell phone, and Jeremy's iPad. But unfortunately, my iPad does not have a cellular option, so in order for me to do work, I still need to find a Wi-Fi signal. Not only this, sometimes we find ourselves camping in places that have no signal at all, or we find ourselves in towns that have very weak signals, making it difficult for us to find internet using our phones or Jeremy's iPad. One of the ways for us to get internet is using our Wineguard. It's a device that we have attached to the top of our van that has a booster, basically, so we can tap into the Wi-Fi signals of buildings around us. So we turn the Wineguard on, it searches around the area for signals, and then we can tap into those Wi-Fi signals and get Wi-Fi while still working in the van. This works really well for us because we can be incognito and get work done while still being in the van. There are some pros and cons with this option, however. One of the pros is being able to work in the van and people not necessarily realize that we're in the van and spend our time in our home working. But some of the cons are that you have to be really close to the building in order to get a signal. And the signals are not always reliable. We've been in front of Walmarts and Planet Fitnesses that we know have Wi-Fi signals, but not be able to get them outside the building. Another thing is that your signal needs to be over 50%, preferably over 75% to really do any work on our iPads. And you have to have an open signal, which means there's no Wi-Fi passwords. And so sometimes we'll get a lot of residential options that have passwords, and trying to find a signal that's got a high enough percentage boost and has an open signal where I don't need a password can make things really difficult. One pro tip I will give you if you are interested in having a Wineguard is finding restaurants that have open seating. They need the Wi-Fi to go outside to the patios anyway. So those have been good options for us. There's no exact science to the Wineguard. Some options work that you would think work in a new place and they don't. Typically, I find Walmart's work well. Starbucks works really well to boost their signal. And if you're in a crunch, that can be really hard using the Wineguard. I would suggest having a more relaxed pace when trying to use it, because sometimes the Wineguard will crash, and so you'll have to reboot the signal. So you just have to play around with it and be more relaxed when using that option. The next option is to go to a restaurant or cafe. So one of the more popular options is going to a McDonald's or a Starbucks. And while those do absolutely work, the Wi-Fi I found has always been good at both of those locations. You do feel bad if you go in there and you're not ordering something. It's just courtesy to place an order and provide to those places to use their Wi-Fi. So that can get really expensive. And on top of that, you also have to deal with the fact that you have a limited amount of time that you can actually sit and do work there. I like to go to Chick-fil-A occasionally and work in the mornings. And it's okay once it's 10 o'clock and it kind of slows down. But then once you hit that lunch rush, man, you feel so rushed and it gets really loud in there. I've also found that some places have a slower Wi-Fi signal when it is a busier time, like the lunch hour. So you don't want to stay there all day. Your signal can get slow. You just kind of feel bad sitting in one of these restaurants for hours on end. So it's not always my favorite option. I will say that if you do want to go in somewhere and you're trying to not spend money, I recommend grocery stores that have seating inside. I know some Publix and Whole Foods and Earth Fairs have indoor seating, and those have worked really well. I've worked in a couple of different grocery stores, and it's actually worked out really nicely. I'm able to use their Wi-Fi. I don't feel as rushed as I do in restaurants. Now, one of my absolute favorite places to get Wi-Fi while on the road is to go to a local library. These have been hands down my favorite options across the country. Libraries provide you with free Wi-Fi. They're always quiet. You know the internet speed is going to be quality because of that. I will say occasionally I've been in like really small towns and their Wi-Fi has not been the greatest. So take that with a grain of salt if you're in like a really rural area. Along with that, I don't ever feel rushed in a library. Occasionally we only need to use the internet for like an hour or two at a time. And for those cases, it's okay to like pop into a restaurant if you're already going to go and get breakfast or lunch and use their Wi-Fi. But for times where I need to sit down and work for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, you don't want to be in a restaurant, and that's where libraries have really come into play for me. I don't ever feel rushed. A lot of times there's study rooms where I could request a room and work and not have to worry about it if I need to make phone calls or if I want to play music out loud and not have to listen to headphones. Libraries have just been a crucial thing for me to get internet on the road. As long as you're not trying to check out a book, you don't have to be a local resident. So it's easy to just kind of go in, do your work, and then leave. Alright, so there are a few of the ways that I find Wi-Fi and internet connections while out on the road. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and enjoy, encourage, and explore.